The morning light lands on an empty space. Arthur is adrift in silence after losing Eleanor to a long illness. Witness his journey through the echoes of her absence, the medical equipment, the silence, the stark reminders of a life shared. This is a story about love, loss, and rediscovering joy amidst grief. Prepare to learn how memories can heal and how love transcends even the deepest pain. The morning light crept in, but not like it used to. It landed softly on the empty space beside Arthur, a space once filled by Eleanor. The silence roared, louder than any machine that had kept her close. 50 years. 50 years that side belonged to her. Now only the indent of her pillow remained, a ghost of the warmth she left behind. His days felt untethered, adrift in a sea of nothing. No more schedules, no reminders, only the echoing silence of a house too big for one. He wandered through the rooms, his fingers tracing the lines of medical equipment, each object a painful reminder of what he had lost and what he had been. Pill organizers stood like silent soldiers. Walkers leaned like weary sentinels. They were the last vestiges of a battle fought, a war now lost. His daughter's voice broke the silence. Dad, maybe it's time to clear some of the medical stuff. Each word felt like a betrayal. Too soon, he rasped, the words laced with anger. Clearing the equipment felt like erasing Eleanor, like discarding a part of their life together. Days turned into weeks, and the clutter remained, a tangible link to the woman he loved, a constant reminder of her absence. Searching for a book, his fingers brushed against something unexpected. A pair of mud-caked gardening gloves, long forgotten. Eleanor's gardening gloves. A rush of memory flooded him. Eleanor, strong and vibrant, her hands deep in the earth. He saw her laughter, felt the warmth of her presence, the vibrant energy she poured into every seed, every bloom. He had been holding on to her illness, clinging to the objects of her suffering, slowly erasing her joy. Grief wasn't just loss, it was memory. He had the power to choose what parts of their love to carry forward. He didn't have to erase the struggle, but he could also remember the laughter, the warmth, the sunshine she brought into their home. He could honour the fullness of Eleanor's life, not just her illness. That evening, he folded the hospital blanket. Underneath, he found her hand-knitted quilt, colourful and warm. He draped it over the chair, smoothing the fabric, wrapping warmth around his own heart. The room breathed differently, softer, warmer, more like home. He imagined her smile, the sparkle in her eyes when she talked about the garden, her dreams, their life. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but tonight, the heavy coat of grief felt a little lighter. Healing wouldn't erase his pain, but by remembering the fullness of Eleanor's life, he could carry his grief with grace. Step by small step, Arthur walked toward a new day. The next morning he woke and went straight to the garden. He picked up the mud-caked gloves and slipped them on. The earth felt cool and familiar beneath his fingers. He planted new seeds, each one a promise of life and renewal. The garden became his sanctuary, a place to remember and to heal. He spoke to Eleanor, sharing his thoughts and his dreams. And though her side of the bed remained empty, his heart began to fill with life again. For in the garden and in his heart, Eleanor lived on,